大家好。那我们现在的这一场呢是亚太社会创新合作奖案例的分享。那会议呢大概在1分钟之后呢我们会开始。那议程的进行当中呢，请将手机设定为静音，拍照的时候呢，请勿使用闪光灯。那我们现在呢，邀请台湾安侯永续发展顾问公司的董事总经理黄正忠。好，谢谢老师。
Hello everyone, welcome to join this afternoon's session. This session will focus on the winners this year in 2024 Asia Pacific Social Innovation Partnership Award. Then you are going to listen to a very awesome, inspiring cases from Philippines and also Taiwan, because this year's 2 winners are all from the Philippines, so the Philippines is super, congratulations. And then we also have another winner is from Taiwan, Taipei Fubon Bank. My name is Nivan Huang. I'm the Managing Director of KPMG Sustainability Consulting based in Taipei. Last 3 years, I was ESG head in Asia Pacific of KPMG Asia Pacific and promote a lot of social innovation, corporate sustainability in Asia Pacific, covering from Korea, Japan, China, and through Asian countries to Australia and New Zealand, of course, including Taiwan. This summit is also under our big project. KPMG is the main contractor to the central government for social enterprise, social innovation, incubation, and also acceleration project. So we have provide this kind of support as an intermediate organization for social empowerment for 10 years already. Myself at KPMG, I'm in charge of 2 major service lines. The first one is KPMG, our 1 major ESG service, the focus on corporate ESG. And then second team is my social innovation team. I have several colleagues, including Manja and also several colleagues over there. They are in our social enterprise and social innovation team. So in the last 10 years, at KPMG is one of the global Big 4 accounting firm. For me to lead a team dedicated on social enterprise and social innovation is a really, really tough job, because accounting firm always care about dollar sign, but we also care about social impact. So very pleased to be the moderator and facilitator for this afternoon's section before our closing plenary at about 3:30. So I would like to thank all of you to participate in this 2 days forum and summit. I noticed that every room all a lot of participants to join to listen and also share your perspective and question and answer. So I do very pleased to see very interactive section. So this section also I think will be very important for all of you to learn from the women's business case or very successful case to deliver sustainable development goals with impact. The Asia Pacific Social Innovation Partnership Award was established at about 7-8 years ago by small and medium-sized and startup administration under the Ministry of Economic Affairs here in Taiwan. In the last couple of years, we organized this award through a lot of social innovation partner organization in Asia Pacific. So we always can collect more than 50, even 80 applications from all of the Asia Pacific countries. So it is a really unique award, I believe, in this region. And every year we do select and honor several very successful cases from this region, and we would like to disseminate more their successful experience to others. And of course, today's participant, or even including the winners, then welcome all of you to apply your another successful cases in 2025. And this award consists of 3 kinds of major category. One is biosphere sustainability category. The second one is inclusive business. The third one is the social prosperity category. And except for these 3 categories, we also have one special jury panel award. So today we have one winner, is Effie. They win 2 awards, including the special jury award. So I think they are pretty awesome. So their case will inspire all of you. Then first of all, I would like to invite the first speaker this afternoon. Is from the Masooni Geo-Reserve Foundation. The presenter is Justine Joyce Bual. She is the Geotourism Associate, come from the Philippines. And this foundation specializes in forestation and to focus some deforestation area and to plant trees and then also engage a lot of key stakeholders. So we congratulate they can win the Biosphere Sustainability Award. Please join me, welcome Justine.
Alright, good afternoon everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I am Justine, the Geotourism Associate of Masooni Geo-Reserve, and on behalf of our team, it is my honor to present and introduce to you our project from the Philippines. So what is Masooni Geopark project? So we are a landmark conservation project situated in the eastern side of Manila, Philippines. So Manila is the capital of the Philippines, and the project is led by our foundation, the Masooni Geo-Reserve Foundation. And we aim to restore, conserve, and rewild over 2,700 hectares of forest area, and which was actually part of a denuded watershed. So let me give you a brief information of what a watershed is, or just a concept, this concept. So watershed is basically all the land where the rainwater drains from uphill going down to the ocean. So if you'll see here in this illustration by the Conservation Ontario and Dr. Rex Cruz, which is actually a professor of mine back in the university. This one, if you'll see here, this is the mountain area where usually the highest point of the landscape, and usually that area is where the rainwater drops first. And then it flows downward, going to the grassland, going to the agriculture area, going to this one. This one is the metros, or the urban area, and going out into the part of the ocean. So basically that's watershed. And then in Masooni, according to studies show that due to deforestation and weak enforcement of environmental laws, as of this moment, the area has already lost 80% of its forest cover, and only that area has 11 to 12% of forest cover left. Now, it says that puts the watershed in a very grave situation, and now that's the reason why Masooni is doing its conservation work. Now, allow me to bring you to a quick trip on where the project actually started. So the project began in 1996, where the area is actually barren area, and the only thing that lives there are illegal activities such as illegal logging and illegal selling of lands. And if you'll see here, actually, according to the locals, during that time, the only thing that you could actually hear are the sounds coming from chainsaws that were extracting logs in that area. And then, after so the protection of Masumi actually started when our parent organization, the Blue Star Construction and Development Corporation, entered into a joint venture agreement with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, which is actually the version of the Ministry of Forestry in the Philippines, which was later expanded in 2002 through a supplemental joint venture agreement. So this was granted through a bidding process, and the purpose of that is to develop a housing project for the government employees. And this project was called the Garden Cottages. Okay. And the master plan of this project was actually very unique and unconventional compared to the typical housing projects particularly in the Philippines. So if it says here in the master plan that this project shall use optimum use of the land with minimum disruption of the existing landscape. So instead of like flattening the remaining mountains, what Blue Star did is that they developed the area based on the existing terrain of the area. So the approach is basically 30% of the land will be developed and then 70% will be reforested and conserved. So at this time, this was the time that the local government in the Philippines, or where Masumi is located, they supported creating a monitoring trail, which actually served as a de facto trail operation, which now we call the Discovery Trail. So this one, we officially opened the monitoring trail in 2016. And this one, the purpose is really to sustainably finance the continuous conservation of the area. Now, in 2016, that was the time that the then Environmental Secretary, Ms. Gina Lopez, visited the Discovery Trail, and she saw that this should be how the government is taking care of the natural resources. So that's when in April 2017, we entered into a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. That's why the Masumi Geopark project was launched. Now, I'd like to present very quickly the guiding principles on how we implement geotourism and that serves as a building blocks of the conservation of the area. So first one, these are our vision and missions. Our commitment is really to have a coexistence between man and the environment. So our vision is to become the top geotourism and a respected conservation area in the Philippines. And our mission is to sustainably manage and conserve the biodiversity, and as well as the limestone formation in Masumi. So those limestone formation are actually 60 million years old. So that's the same age as the time that the dinosaurs went extinct, and just the mammals are just starting to live in the Earth's surface. So that's how geologically important that area is. So we follow the model of the UNESCO Geopark as a way to conserve the area. So if you'll see in this illustration, we have the environmental protection. So what we do is we guard the area, and we have research and education, wherein we partner with different institutions that that does research and development to understand more about the landscape and the biodiversity that lives on it. And we have the sustainable development, and we do that in a way of geotourism. Okay? Now allow me to go a little bit quickly on the concepts or the key approaches of geotourism. First and foremost is the protection and enhancement of the integrity and the character of the place. So this aims to preserve the natural and cultural heritage of a destination or in the georeserve, ensuring that the unique character and the authenticity are maintained and are even improved over time. The next one is the guest interpretation and satisfaction. So this prioritizes providing meaningful and memorable experiences for our guests by incorporating nature interpretation such as, guiding a trail guide while they're going inside the trail. So the guides will share information about the land, the plants and animals in the area, and even the advocacy work that we do. And then the third one is, of course, community involvement and benefit, wherein our the trail guides that guides our guests inside the trail are actually rangers or trained rangers from the local community. And then next one is market diversity and selectivity. This means that it promotes diverse tourism, offering an appeal to different interests and preferences of the guests. So while also being selective in attracting guests, and since we do have a minimum number of guests when we enter the trail, so the reason for that is because we want to ensure that we maximize the minimum capacity of the area. And then last and foremost is the planning and land use. So this basically advocates for a responsible development to minimize the negative impacts of the environment. Now I'd like to give you a quick tour in some of our notable or pioneering experiences. So if the photo that you see here is the Discovery Trail experience. So in the first photo, actually you will see the very creative engineering that we did in the trails. So this one is what we call sapot, or the web-like structure, which is very unique in a sense that typically some destinations, what they do for the viewing deck is that they flatten the area so that guests can go there comfortably. So what we did is we built a structure that actually mimics the natural things that you can see in the forest. So this one is inspired by the sapot, or the spiders that you can actually see during the afternoon in that area. So if you can see here, it really highlights the place. So that's actually the purpose of geotourism. It's a sort of like a subcategory of ecotourism, which really focuses on highlighting the landscape and the unique character of it. And then you will see here in these photos on the bottom, you can actually see this suspended rope courses that you can traverse through the forest canopy using just using this rope courses that actually is made out of low impact infrastructures and were sourced locally. And this actually has a very strong capacities, so it can hold more than 40 people, and it can easily be removed without leaving damage or in the area. Now this also is very replicable. So this model is actually very replicable and is apparent in all of these low impact infrastructure, and which actually focuses on the unique landscape, which brings together all the elements of the geographical character of the area. So this is actually some of the photos in our other trail, which is the Legacy Trail experience. So this one focuses on being immersed in our comprehensive reforestation work that we do. So if you can see here, this photo, what they are doing is actually the tree nurturing activity. So which actually typically people really want to experience the tree planting, but actually the most crucial part is actually the tree nurturing activity. That means that's actually the most neglected, I'd say, in terms of really surviving the trees that we see in the forest. So it's one of the important things to really understand and appreciate. So that's what we do, especially during the time of dry season in the Philippines. So allow me to present to you, I am pleased to present to you the impacts of the project. So I'll start first with the conservation impacts, which actually involves the landscape itself and the biodiversity that lives in it since the project began. So first and foremost, if you remember this photo, this is what Masungi looks like in 1996, and now it looks like this. So we have now rescued over 2,000 hectares of forest land, and we've established 17 ranger stations. And if you can actually see here, this ranger station has a very unique concept because it's actually low impact. So that means it can easily be built and can easily be debuilt, I'd say. And you can bring it to one area to another without leaving any trace in the area. Next is we were able to establish 18 kilometers of monitoring trails inside the reforestation area. And then we are now able to document over 500 documented species of plants and animals in Masungi. So I'll give you I'll introduce some of them to you. So first one is we are home of the rare JC's vine, or the purple jade vine. So this is actually one of the most beautiful flowers in the world, and you can actually just see this in 4 wild locations in the Philippines. And actually, Masungi is the one that has the most abundant population of this rare purple jade vine. And then we also have this little cute bird. This is just as small as this one. So this one, Masungi is home of 100 species of birds that likes to hunt their food and even rest on the area and even grow their hatchlings. So this one, this cute little blue guy is what we call the indigo-banded kingfisher. It likes to hang out in the streams to catch its food. And then the next one, Masungi is also home of 47 species of snails, including the Masungi microsnail. So it is a subspecies of from the genus Hypsilostoma. So we typically just call it Masungi microsnail. It's as small as a grain of rice, but you can actually see it naked eye. And lastly is, Masungi is also home of 30 species of bats, including the first record of flying fox was actually found in Masungi. So first recorded flying fox in Rizal. So Rizal is the province where Masungi is actually located. So the first record of it was found in Masungi. So the one example of this flying fox is this modeling flying fox. Okay. Now for our social impact, it is my honor to introduce to you some of the social impacts that since the project began. Oops. There you go. We are able to train over 100 rangers from the local communities and the indigenous groups, and we've supported over 500 households, engaged over 200 corporate and school partners, welcomed over 200 government officials and protected area managers, and as well as received multiple recognition in different areas and from different reputable institutions in the field of conservation, geotourism, and sustainable financing. And then these are just some of the other recognitions that we received, and just yesterday, we were very fortunate to be selected as the Biosphere Sustainability Awardee, so thank you so much. And behind all of this, we have become the largest collaborative reforestation initiative in the Philippines, led by the civil society. And all of this is funded by an award-winning geotourism operation. But behind all of these accolades, we do have some set of challenges that we experience in the area. First, these are just some of the major threats that we're currently facing right now. So first one is the quarrying activity. So this one, if you'll see here, these are the fencing incident that the quarrying wants to extract limestone inside the watershed. So they fence the area of some parts of the area of the watershed. Then this one is the presence of illegal structures or permanent structures such as swimming pools. Up to this date, we were able to document 12 resorts that were established illegally inside the watershed. And then next one is wind farm. So we just on the fourth quarter of last year, we were able to discover several drilling areas near the limestone formation that we are conserving. So in Masuni, we're not really against to finding alternative solution of renewable sources of energy. It's just that it should be placed in an area that is strategic and not in an area that was just recently reforested. Okay? And other political challenges such as bias to disruptive projects and the lack of dialogue in certain areas that are very important in the conservation. Now we do have an ongoing movement to protect Masuni Geopark project. So some of the members of or the participants of the movement is none other than Dr. Jane Goodall and Greta Thunberg. So please feel free to take a photo or scan a QR code if you want to participate in this call for action and movement. So we also encourage individuals and organizations to create their own statement and public support for the project. Now Masuni has become a testament of collaboration and interaction with collaboration and transformative power of social innovation through collaboration and being one with nature. So it is my honor to, and before I end, okay, I would like to end my presentation with a 1-minute video. Thank you. Maybe we could make it louder, a little bit louder. Can we make it a little bit louder? It's not working. Transformative power through innovation and collaboration, where the marriage of geotourism and conservation births a hope for the future. And I hope the pioneering spirit of Masuni inspires us towards a more greener and more sustainable future. So thank you so much again, and that is the end of my presentation.
Thank you. How do you get there from Manila? Yeah, how to get there? We will be very interested to know.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Thank you very much, Justine. Now I would like to introduce the second presenter and also the winner of Inclusive Business Award. This is the Taipei Fubon Bank, and their project is focusing on working out a pain point for the visually impaired customer So I think for this kind of disadvantaged people, when they go to the bank, they must need some special service. And Taipei Fubon Bank is a very considerate bank to provide, a very special customer-specific design for providing their banking service. And then the presenter is Emily Yang. Emily is the head of branding and sustainability department of the Taipei Fubon Bank. Let's join me to welcome Emily.
Thank you, Ethan, and thank you, Justine, for your sharing. I want to book a trip to Masuji. Well, but first I would like to apologize that probably 80% of my sharing will be a recital of my script, because not because of I'm not familiar with the project. On the contrary, I am. But because due to the time constraint, I want to seize every minute to convey what Taipei Fubon Bank, my team, and I are passionate about regarding equality and inclusion. So before we start, I would like every one of you to think of the most considerate service you have ever experienced. Okay? So probably some of you might think of a coffee chain like from Starbucks, and some of you might think of a dining experience in a Michelin one-star restaurant, right? And is there any one of you just thought of a bank? Anyone? Probably not, right? And I believe that is because traditionally, banks are best at serving people in need with good products instead of services. But Taipei Fubon Bank, we want to broaden our service targets and define inclusive service as caring for all those who come into contact with us, and ensuring that not just our customers, but everyone who can enjoy the most suitable services from us online and offline. So we're dedicated to establish a non-discriminatory financial services, and is already a market leader in Taiwan. And this involves offering sign language interpretation online and offline, and providing easy-to-read handbook, introducing basic banking services for the intellectually challenged customers, and so on. And by believing that financial equality is a vital sign of social progress, we keep working to improvement universal financial services in the banking industry. And actually, banking services are often designed from a business standpoint, right? Delivering what the bank believes is optimal for the customers. And however, different customers, we all know that different customers have different needs, and they require distinct services. So since 2022, the connection between us and One City Love social enterprise was built to conduct focus group for visually impaired customers, and started partnerships with advocacy groups to understand their pain points and expectations from a user need perspective, and aiming to optimize their online and offline experience. So here I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to our consultant, Dr. Chongwei Lin, from the founder of One City Love social enterprise, 众社会企业, and for not only make quick response to me. By then I was a total stranger, just left message to his Facebook, and Dr. Lin almost immediately replied to my inquiry and make phone calls directly to me to discuss. And it is very helpful and touching. And he also helped us with service testing and enhancement through barrier-free optimizing strategies. And also, see here, this is me, this is Dr. Ling, and this is Anna. Her headshot is not amplified, but actually she's right here, right now. Because Anna, she's the project owner and the superstar behind the scene. I believe without her, everything I'm about to share cannot be accomplished without her great efforts. So thank you with my partners. And our goal was to create the most exquisite and one-of-a-kind service experience possible. So during the process, we evaluated the detailed process of various banking services, such as account opening, withdrawing, remittance, deposit, financial card loss reporting, and so on, with visually impaired consultants. And additionally, we collaborated with visually impaired customers firsthand and create training videos on providing providing a service in order to rapidly establishing a corporate culture of equitable treatment internally. So let's pause right here and make. I'm going to make a quick quiz. Just think of it. If we close our eyes, how do we locate the size of the signature field while signing contract? When we close our eyes, when doing business with banks, sometimes we have to sign some contracts or documents, but without seeing it, how do we locate the right position and sign the right size of our signature? We don't know. And also, if we close our eyes, how can I tell which bank does this credit card belongs to? It's quite difficult, right? Actually, this is one of the issues we found while during our service testing, and which motivated us to develop related supplies. Actually, the solution is not rocket science, and on the contrary, it's the opposite. Very, very simple. Here we have is the signature and reading assistive board. And over there, you can see a sticker like this. This is the brand recognition sticker, what we have developed. We manufactured the signature board with non-scratch materials and easy to press thick frames and wallet-friendly size. And the stickers with recognizable material and size to fully meet the need of visually impaired customers in banks and other daily scenarios. So very, very simple, just like this, like a credit card with a hole. And the supply are now available at 179 Taipei Fubon Bank branch all over Taiwan. And we also send out this card to visually impaired rights group in Taiwan. So now around like 2,000 individuals already received from us and use them on a daily basis. So that's approximately 2,000 people. But we think it's not enough. And furthermore, we believe that industry-wide cooperation can support a larger number of disabled individuals. So we have shared the mode of the supplies with 13 banks and financial institutions free of charge. And they have used them to manufacture their own assistive board. So let's do the math. If every financial institution that use this board, they benefit 500 people. So together, there will be like 5,000 people being benefited from this board, right? And 5,000, that is 10% of the population of Taiwan's visually impaired person. So it's the simple action we have done already helped 10% of that population, and the number is growing. So, and beside the service design I've mentioned, another social impact stems from the recognition that a lack of financial education resources for visually impaired children can create a fear of financial transactions for them in the future. To address this, we collaborated with representative schools for the visual impaired in northern Taiwan to create financial education content tailored to visually impaired children, aiming to reduce financial inequality among this community through education in the long run. And by 2024, about 120 visually impaired children have received our financial education, including all students in northern Taiwan, and the number continues to grow. From the point of view of service design, the fact that clients, which is visually impaired in this case, actively participated in the project distinguishes from other projects. It makes the project differ from typical approach to establishing financial services from the bank's perspective. And in addition to the case's positive influence to the disabilities, we prioritize partnership with green firms when developing assistive supplies. Take the signature boards manufacturer, for example, its name is Fongstar. It is a socially responsible company which has been implementing energy saving policies, achieving net zero carbon emissions, and also they have installing solar energy equipment, all of which exemplify our philosophy of socially responsible investment, and to really put our feet in our customers' shoes, we again cooperate with social enterprise, Dialogue in the Dark, DID. I believe some of you might heard of that, to organize workshops, placing our frontline colleagues in a completely dark environment with various tasks to better understand how visually impaired customers feel in different situations. And so far are things we have done for our visually impaired customers, and feedback from them and effective help are the driving force for us to optimize our banking services. There was once a limited vision customer made feedback that he felt very honored to be one of the participants of our service testing project, and all of his visually impaired friends praised for our friendly ATM UI design. So get our customers involved is one of the key of the success of this project. And an example of effective help is that, like I've mentioned previously, in response to feedback from visually impaired individuals, we developed financial education materials specifically designed for visually impaired children. And the training including the topic of counterfeiting bills recognition. And we did show those students the real counterfeiting bills during the class. And not very long after that class, there was a news that some kind of counterfeiting bill were used are actually used in Taiwan and got busted by the police. And we are very happy that those children who we have taught they can identify the texture of the fake bill with touching, so which can avoid them from being fraud in the future. So after that training, those children will remember the feeling and the texture of the fake bill, and that is some of the most often happen occasion for them during their daily lives. So we were very pleased that the training itself really helped. And from the perspective of public, this whole project is socially responsible investment because its primary goal is social impact rather than business income. So using the framework of SDG, the project addresses SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, and SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, and also SDG 10, reduce inequality. And for sure, SDG 12, responsible consumption and production with activities ranging from needs explorations to service optimization, assistive supplies development, and industry sharing. And also, there is an extension of the project, which is the financial education for visually challenged children contributes to SDG 4, quality education. And here comes another industry-wide ESG impact example I would like to share. Because of the service design project, we built a connection with Mr. Lan Jiezhou. He is the Secretary General of Taipei Parents Association for the Visually Impaired. So besides the help of service testing, we held a sharing session together, sharing his financial transaction experience of visually impaired. And to foster social harmony, we have made it a public event and invited financial competitors to join. And after that event, there are several banks come to invite Mr. Lan Jiezhou as a service consultant to enhance banking services with equality access. And in the future, we encourage all individuals in need to seek assistive supplies from us. And also, although the services offered by financial institutions in various countries and areas may differ, consumer needs are actually similar. Therefore, we intend to improve universal financial services in a global scale by exchanging cross-national and regional financial experience of service design and sharing supplies modes. So our goal is to fulfill the financial needs of more individuals with disabilities and to continue to inclusive financing. And this is my sharing about this project. I hope you like our idea, and you know that every idea is very simple, not rocket science, but as long as you pay attention to listen to your target or audience, especially put them into your whole testing process, you will be surprised that there are so many things that we haven't done for them. And that is our responsibility to the society and to every walks of life. So that's our belief, and so we will keep doing that for sure. So if you have any inquiries, and please feel free to contact Anna and I. We would love to share our experience with you. And thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Emily control very good timing. I'm looking for Professor Chong Wei-Ling. Would you like to add some few words? No? Okay. Now I would like to introduce our third speaker today. This is also quite awesome organization. And the CEO and co-founder, excuse me if my pronunciation is not correct, please forgive me. Mr. Auke Idzenga. Yeah, is that good? That is the Dutch name. Auke is a Dutch, but he went to the Philippines almost 40 years and has done a pretty good job over there. And he established and created one organization called Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation, Inc. So for abbreviation is AIDFIFE. And this organization spent a lot of effort, dedicated focus on the water issues. And you can, without any rice, corn for 1 week, you cannot without water for 1 day. So water is very important for every one of us. So FE, this project, and they deliver a lot of the solution for helping people to get the water by their technical solution, their system design, etc. So I think this project will be also a very good case for us to share and also to think about how we can leverage technology or some creative idea to support people to work out the very vital survival issues on water. And then that carbon is very important right now regarding to our climate change. And then water will be the next carbon. What does that mean? Water will become very, very important, including water shortage, water supply, water pricing. That will all impact everyone's daily life. So let's welcome Auke to give us his wonderful presentation.
Thank you for a nice introduction. For the honor to be here. I will do the same. Usually I do the slides this way, and I start doing this with my hands. But you want to really tell the story, and there is a lot to tell. It's about a small pump, and if you are silent, we can hear it. No, we can't hear it. Is it not working? It's working. It runs as a wall clock. There are also big ones, and they bang as the Big Bang in London. And many people say they make noise, and for us it's music. No? So to extend here, it's a little bit high. Okay, the title of this presentation, Pumping Water Uphill to Change Lives in Waterless Communities Worldwide, is also the mission of 8V, the organization I co-founded with setting up water systems utilizing the 8V hydraulic ram pump. So if you really want to know what a hydraulic ram pump is, there is a miniature there at the back. And after the session, you can ask not my colleague, he's my son, he's the COO of 8V, on how it works. No? From the title, you can see that the provision of water in increased volume near the doorsteps of the households or of the farms is not the end goal. So it's not about this pump, it's not about just pumping water, but there is so much more in this story when the water reaches its goal. What 8V really wants to see is that the provision of water and the formation of empowered water associations in waterless communities is triggering further development. Okay, we'll see next. Okay. Okay, let's continue. My name was properly pronounced, so I will do it again. I'm Auke Idzenga, Dutch marine engineer, who at age 23 started in 1985. We go back to vision. Yeah. Okay, thank you. In 85, working in Negros, that's on the Philippines, in a farm lots program for sugar workers who were going hungry because of the sugar crisis. From 200 farm lots, the program moved to acquiring complete plantations. So we were growing food with the sugar workers on these farm lots, and automatically we moved into a land reform program which was just started by the government. But there was no time and priority for technologies. With 3 colleagues, Filipinos, I'm the only Filipino, we are with 30 right now. We formed the Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation, incorporated with its vision, a society where technology and development systems exist in harmony with nature and serves as foundation, as foundation of growth and sustainable development, where people share and live in abundance and happiness, and where there is peace, freedom, and equity. You can find this vision very much in the bazaar, in the sessions. It's all about creating living places. And we already had this vision also in 1992, and it's very applicable as of now. We concentrated on appropriate technologies and sustainable agriculture. Next. Yeah, no, one. Okay. There are still hundreds of thousands of waterless villages and farms in the world where villagers have to fetch water manually, and by that limiting the daily consumption to an average of 40 liters per day. Imagine if you have to go down, we have even areas 200 meters where you have to go down, and luckily if it's not raining, and you have to bring up 2 containers. Those containers are 20 liters, so it's a maximum of 40 liters you can bring up on the mountain, and that's all you have for a day. And farms which are waiting for the raining season. In the Philippines, we have 2 seasons. In the Philippines, we still have thousands of waterless villages and upland farms. Actually, this is unnecessary since mostly there are water sources below the villages or farms which could be tapped. In this program, we designed this appropriate technology program. On the left side, you see all the kinds of technologies we developed in the past. And we wanted to do everything. That's also with social entrepreneurs. You tend to want to solve everything yourself. And we have already completely moved away from that. You will see that in the story. So we designed and manufactured and installed low-cost technologies based on local materials for the basic needs of the poor. For water, sanitation, energy, which is then hydropower, biogas, and wind. As you can see in the picture on the left, we worked with those small-scale technologies, all small-scale. Since water was expressed as the most urgent need, the hydraulic ramp pump became our flagship technology. That's the one on the right side, and of which we have a miniature. And at the moment, that provides 85% of our work. We are not profit, but we do manufacturing, and we contract projects, but we reinvest all the money we earn into the organization. So there's no profit taking. There was also sustainable agriculture, was our other program. We started out helping the sugar workers in the formation of associations. These workers received a piece of land through the new land reform program. Most of those lands were former sugarcane plantations and mostly situated in the mountains, and those were indebted. The first one transferred were the ones indebted with the banks. So we didn't get the nice plantations on the lowland, but we ended up dealing with plantations or former plantations in the mountains. We also helped the sugar workers who had to turn into farmers with water buffaloes, working animals, farm tools, seeds, and fertilizers. Then after several years, that's the picture in the middle, we went into marketing. But you can imagine that the projects were in the mountains and there were no roads at that time, and that it was not sustainable for our organization to bring the high volume products down. Then in 2004, we thought of turning this around. Instead of bringing high volume, but making a product into a low volume but a high value. And this became the idea of distilling essential oil from lemongrass. You see that at the right side, that is our latest factory. This is completely renewable energy powered. And that is our idea of areas which people thought were hopeless, helpless, where there were no roads or no easy access of roads, no water and no electricity. And we wanted to prove that those areas can be completely changed once there is water. So we started with a Rampam, and that project was made possible because of the availability of water for growing lemongrass, so irrigation, but also for the distillation and the cooling to make essential oil. Yeah. So lack of water for households or for farms. This creates a lot of challenges, especially the women. Time and money spent for fetching, kids skipping classes, they don't go to school because the water is finished early in the morning, and the parents ask the children to fetch water, so they are too late for school. Sometimes they forget about school, or they like to forget about school, they start playing near the source. And students or kids are also being bullied at school because they can't wash themselves anytime they want, butting, just simple things like that. It also causes neck, leg, and spinal problems from carrying this heavy load over. I still have muscle pain from a project I went before I left to Taiwan for a survey with my colleagues. And you can feel that the next day. They don't feel that anymore, but when we have to go up the steep mountains, it's hard, no? Without water again. The lack of butting also causes skin diseases. Unfiltered water from unprotected sources can cause waterborne diseases. I keep my hair short, but actually I lost my hair by typhoid fever. And we didn't have water filter at the time. It was said that I'm already 40 years in the Philippines, so the situation was much different. So I lost my hair just because of typhoid, no? Also, lack of sanitation. Many people, households, they don't have any toilets in the mountains. No chance to grow vegetables or to have any livestock. Laundry can also not be done near the houses, and even the cleaning of the houses. And there is no chance to do any water-related livelihood, so anything else. On the right side, for the farms, the effect is that the farmers are dependent on the rainfall, and they are limited mostly to only one crop. So those can be very affected by the sudden droughts, like as of this moment in the Philippines. We had a heat index of 45 degrees. It's very hot and very dry. And so it's not just that you can have only one crop, but you can also completely lose your crop. No? So the risk, farming has become much more riskier in the mountains through the climate change. Farmers can also not diversify their farms. You really need water if you want to do nice things like planting trees and other high-value crops. And I already see the other way around. I was very happy here to hear these stories. What we see in the Philippines is that many young kids are completely not interested in agriculture. If you have sloping hills and those are completely eroded, the production is going down, then the young ones are not interested in agriculture. But this can be turned around. Okay, next slide. How are we with the time? Going good? So our solution is the hydraulic ramp pump. There are many different kinds of water pumping. It can be done by human power, animals, electricity, fuel, wind, solar, or then water like our hydraulic ramp pump. Only solar and ramp pumps can bring water to very high elevations. In my view, or our view, once there is free-flowing water, the ramp pump is the best option. This is not marketing, this is just reality. A hydraulic ramp pump is a device which utilizes water contained in falling water, and it can pump up a portion of the water to much higher elevations. That small one pumps up only to there, but we can go up to over more than 200 meters. So it doesn't use any electricity or fuel. There's no greenhouse gas emission, and it works 24/7. The waterway system with ramp pump comes with complete technology transfer. That's the most important, to train local villages, and therefore the technology is completely under their control. Solar systems, on the other hand, have complex engineering and technical requirements for installation and maintenance. It has reduced performance during overcast and rainy conditions. So if we have a cloudy weather like now, then it won't give the maximum flow. Next slide. Okay, imagine this was all pre-digital. On our island, we didn't have any technical information. Communication was very hard and very expensive. I was just there on an island in the middle of the Philippines, not in Manila, and it was very hard to get information. I can share more about that, but how to come to your own design. Why do you design your own? No? So on the left side, you have imported models. These are very expensive, very hard to get. And in the Philippines, imagine if you just need one of those pumps, and you try to import them through the customs, that's hardly impossible and will cost you a lot of money. In the middle, those were the systems designed by people from church groups and appropriate technology groups like 40 years ago, and but they remain inferior. The ramp pump technology is 240 years old, but it was very unknown. And on the right side, you see our model. It's a crossbreed, so it has taken the best of both. It's based on local materials, local skills, and easy and cheaply available spare parts. So our only moving part in the ramp pump is a ordinary door hinge. So this can easily be bought even you are in far-flung areas. Next, please. This is a typical setup. A typical installation comprises of a spring box to protect the source, a diversion pipe, the drive tank, drive pipes leading to the ramp pump, which is protected by housing, and from where the water is brought up through HDPE black pipes, good quality. And they go to the highest point of the village, a reservoir, and from there distributed to these clusters of households. Before we used ordinary public tap stands, but we will show you also a new innovation. For drinking water, each cluster has a mechanical water kiosk which provides 20 liters of water for a 1 peso coin. There are like 56 pesos in a $1, so imagine only 1 peso. Then households have a water filter in their homes, meaning it's decentralized filtering. We don't filter centralized because that's very expensive. You need only clean and safe water for drinking and cooking. Next, please. But that was on the technology side. But where we concentrate more on is the social aspects of the projects, because we are not like a contractor where we do a technical installation and we want signatures from the local politicians, go home, maybe buy a new car from the profit, and then leave the system and hoping that it works, or we don't even think about it if it ever works. We want the systems to work, so we concentrate a lot on the social aspects. To create sustainable systems and associations, because the associations are at the heart of these systems, AIDFI developed a complete holistic package around the ramp pump. AIDFI gives importance to the social preparation of the project, which includes setup, training and registration of a water association, We collect baseline data survey, so we can compare that later to what happened after the installation. Introduction of association to local government agencies, units, and also other groups who might help them in the future. We arrange legal documents. Everything we have to do is legal, that we don't get in trouble later on with the source, with all the landowners. We also arrange for the local labor. It's all official and discussed in advance. Selection of villages for as village technicians, very important. Then the arrangement for our own team to stay, because once we come in a village, we stay there for 2 to 3 months until the project is completely finished. Then training and monitoring up and an official turnover. There's also continued monitoring and impact data gathering afterwards to see the impact of our. Okay, this has a combination of innovations. We have, we say innovation in our DNA. We also have a little innovation center at our office and shop, and continue to develop new things. On the left is a mechanical water kiosk, which I already mentioned. This was developed during the pandemic. It replaces the trouble-causing public tap stands. The kiosk releases 12 liters water for 1 peso and provide income for the associations. So the money collected by the associations from in clusters of households goes to the association, not to, of course, to us. And this is used for the sustainability. Then, of course, the unique ram pump with the door hinges as moving parts, the filter at the right side. That is just for every household, and even I use it in the city because the water in our cities are also not clean. Left down are recycled spare parts from Coca-Cola cups, from soda cups. We manufacture the small-scale machines for recycling also ourselves, and we can make different parts of the system. Then also the monitoring app. We developed a monitoring app and an impact app for this. Next, please. All the technical and social activities lead to sustainable water systems providing easy access. There are, I won't read all of them, but you have the immediate benefits, medium-term benefits, and of course the longer-term benefits, which very much also concern the community and the environment. Okay, I won't read them. But the most important is that, like was stated in our vision, is that the community becomes in harmony with people, so with each other. We also revive an old system of care. I also saw that at the bazaar. It's existing in any country originally, and this is fastly getting lost. So we have this kind of cooperation system and care system, and we revive that during the installations, and those water associations keep on practicing this. So you can see more cooperation. Also the logging, the charcoal making, and other environmental unfriendly activities are decreasing, and that's what we want to monitor with this impact app. Okay, next. So yeah, this pump is just a start. Like I said, when we install and we bring up the water near the doorsteps or on the farms, we want that all things are starting to happen. And the water associations are then at the heart, and this introduction to local government units and agencies is then also key. They know they are empowered. Some 70% of the association officers are actually women, and they are very, very active. And we see a lot of these things which are on the list are really slowly or sometimes very fast happening. Depends on how active the association is. So we don't involve ourselves. We keep in touch with those associations by Our community facilitators, of course, they call them on the mobile phones, and we do monitoring and impact gathering. Okay, a little bit more. Are you still okay, or are we okay with the time? So this, yes, okay. The impact. So all those challenges I mentioned in the beginning are actually turned around. So the most important mentioned on the slide is the increased volume of water, at least by 10 times. So from 40, imagine you have only 2 containers, now you have 2 big drums at your house. What you can do with that? So immediately we see people building toilets, immediately. Because women, for example, also they did not tend to go out of the house in the night if you have to do that in the open field and you don't feel safe. So there are all those opportunities which I mentioned. So better education, kids go to school, are no longer bullied. They immediately start growing some animals, like even just 1 or 2 pigs. Some are raising fish. They grow vegetables around their house for consumption and for selling, so there is income generated for the families. Then also on the health side, no more waterborne diseases because of the presence of water filter. Also a fast decrease of skin diseases because with frequent bathing you don't have a lot of those problems. Then for irrigation, it's from 1 crop, or now with the prolonged droughts, for example, you can. The first thing is to survive a crop. If you have only 1 crop and you lose it, you are in total trouble. You can't go to the bank here in Taipei to make a loan. In the Philippines, you borrow. Those people are not credible for the bank or not considered. And they borrow money at a very high interest rate. So if you lose your crop, you are in a vicious circle immediately of poverty. So you're in trouble. So if with this water you can have a second crop, you survive your crop during drought periods, or you can do diversify your farm. You said that a while ago, it's not about the tree planting. Many organizations do tree planting, but how to sustain the seedlings afterwards. No? So you can plant fruit trees and high-value crops. Okay, on the right side, this is what we have done so far. 600 complete villages. Imagine, and I hope there are more companies. I'm not promoting Coca-Cola, but we got nearly silently support from Coca-Cola Foundation. They don't go really big about it. They sponsored since 2012. Imagine 180 complete villages with filtration systems and everything. Social preparation, not just the technical thing, complete. And we hope that more companies are doing this for the sustainability. I mean. Either for the carbon or the water footprint. I just saw, for example, data from the UNDP lately. I was looking at the internet, and they report their water volume used in their offices. They recycle a little bit of it, but they are not returning it. So there are so many, even these agencies who are pushing for the SDGs, but I don't say they don't follow it themselves, but they can do more efforts, and we are ready also to help them out. So the companies and agencies, if in the future we can help them offset the water and bring it to the people who are in need the most. Where are we? Okay, next, a little bit. So that talking also like your bank in terms of SDGs. It's cross-cutting. If you look at what we do, is most of the, except for underwater, but most of the SDGs are being touched by our work. We create employment. We are putting up big solar panels at our workshop, so we are also greening our production, fulfilling jobs. All our technicians come from the grassroots, but they have regular jobs. We don't want to give them part-time jobs. And So yeah, most of the SDGs are being attended to. Water is related to many things. This was also confirmed when we did a presentation at the UN in 2017. Okay, last, are you still okay? On the sustainability side, on how to keep these projects going, because we want to trigger, but these efforts need to be sustained. So on the left side, these are the associations. These are the heart of the water systems, and they need to be very active. Now, of course, women are very active. I said 70% of the officers are women, but they also need the money for their activities. So allowance for a technician, village technician, because he can't do that voluntarily. If you have to go, I still feel it, but if members or people in the village are just complaining and you are the village technician, if the pump is making trouble, time is up, then it's very hard, no, as a volunteer. So we pay or the associations are being paid with an allowance. And this money, like you can see, is coming from this water kiosk. This is a water kiosk which is mechanical. You see a lot of high-tech solar kiosks, even imported. They bring them in containers to Africa and other countries. This is also locally manufactured. It only has a gumball, a mechanism, and it has a toilet flush system inside. So it's very easy technology. So that was my presentation. The time was up, he said. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auke. Now I would like to invite three presenters to go move to the stage, and then we are going to have a panel discussion. And if you have any question, please feel free, don't hesitate to raise your question. You can ask in Chinese and I can translate your question for our speaker's reference. Two more chairs. Okay, now please. Could you please turn on the light? I believe that these three cases are all very difficult. You need to engage a lot of people. You need to talk, convince, communicate, and also brainstorming. You must also experience a lot of frustration during the whole process. But because of the passion, because of the mission, because of the vision, so we need to do everything possible to make it successful. So I believe in Asia Pacific, there are more and more this kind of problem. Everyone is part of the problem, everyone's supposed to be the solution, but we need someone to coordinate, to link everybody together and to create something like, to bundle everyone very closely and try to deliver the solution with the impact. And thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. Any question from the floor? Could you please raise your hand? And you can also identify who you want to ask. Any question?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Steve, please.
Yes, thank you for all the speakers for your presentations. Very, very inspiring as well. My name is Stephen Tao. I'm a student at National Taiwan University. My question is actually for Ms. Idzenga. In launching these projects, how do you evaluate, or do you have a process of evaluating the economic benefit, basically to the communities that these water system, resource system actually benefit them? And if there's one, do you think it's viable to monetize is basically to collect, to have them to pay for it, rather than funded by donations or foundations, where it's for free. It's not a matter of whether you get a return from the system, but a sense of ownership, and also community support to make it actually viable and to maintain the longevity for the project.
Yes, thank you for the good question. Yeah, we work with the poorest of the poor. We are in far-flung communities, hard to reach. Even me, I don't pay for the infrastructure of the water district. I pay the bills and over time. So of course you contribute to the whole infrastructure being laid down by a water district, for example. But we don't ask the beneficiaries to invest monetary, but they invest also in labor. So we reactivate an old cooperation system, I said, it's Bianihan. And they provide a certain part of free labor. We tried in the past, very idealistic. We tried to do all the labor for free from the community with 1 or 2 technicians from us, of course, with supervision, because it has some specialities to do. But there are a lot of skills in the communities as well, and we tried to do completely the labor with them, but then we end up like, instead of 2 to 3 months, we are there for 6 or 9 months, because people have to work, they have to survive. And so we went to paying also for the labor, but it's more on our interest is really, and there is creation of ownership, so we do that during the social preparation. Our technicians, for example, who are there, are from the grassroots themselves. They speak the same language as them. And yeah, so they integrate. They always say, oh, you have nice people, because mostly technicians and contractors don't deal that way with villages. So yeah, they integrate. We integrate really with the villagers, and it's all about moving away from dole-out system in the Philippines, where projects are always paid for mostly by politicians and not well functioning. And we move them away from really creating, like you said, for us the term is also sense of ownership and creation of ownership, and that's by the Water Association. And the money for us is more important, that there's collection of money, and the money is used that they completely maintain the systems. So we don't even look for the future of how we can set up a system that people can pay for the whole infrastructure. It needs to come from outside. And water is a right, so also, for example, government should provide these people with water.
Thank you. Any other question from the floor? Yeah, we have 2. Yeah, please. Okay, then you can identify yourself, and you can also raise your question, and you can also identify whom you want to ask. That's okay, 2 gentlemen. Yeah, please.
Sure. My name is Osman. I'm coming from an organization in Cambodia. Question for Zongi project. You mentioned that there are these quite big 12 developments, illegal resorts. I'm sure they take some time to develop and build. How is that? Have they started a while ago, or you have a monitoring system as well? So how is it that they're able to come up without being noticed? And then once they have been found out, do you get support from the authorities to close them down?
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. So for that one, that area, to give you a reference, in the Philippines, there's a legislation that protects the protected area, wherein you cannot build permanent structures inside a protected landscape. So what happens is that those resorts, what I know is that they were given permits by the government, and that they're masquerading themselves as a farmland instead. And then what happens is that through our monitoring system, which is sometimes regularly we do fly drones to monitor the area. So we found out that they are operating and they build structures like that. And then what happened is those resorts that I showed actually were found out sometime during the height of the pandemic. So that time there's a lot of encroachment that is happening in the mountains and the uplands. And then what happened is because of that very big landscape, and given that we only have a very few rangers to monitor the area, so that's the time that the encroachments began. So when we found out that, of course, we reported it to the public and to the local authorities, and they did manage to close some of them. But actually, just recently, we're actually able to find out that they're doing some strategies to still operate secretly. Yeah, there are actually reports that you can actually Google it on. You can look up to in the Facebook in different platforms that the news reporters were able to find that some of the resorts are actually still operating. So we, of course, what we do is we report it to the respective authorities so that they can raise it and make actions to it. And for us, it's really about echoing those problems so that the respective authorities will do what they're supposed to be doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Before moving to the another gentleman, I would like to have one question to raise it first, and then you can think about it. It's based on the current status and what you have already developed in the last couple of years. What would be the next? Now, maybe you have already touched upon in your presentation a little bit, but each one of you can share based on the current scale or progress, achievement, what would be the next? And then, yes, please.
Hello, I'm Ravindra from Nepal. So my question to the Masuni Park project. So I would like to know a little bit more about the sustainability of the project as well as the community contribution part, because without community contribution, what types of community contribution you are engaging in your project for the sustainability ensure? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. So more on the sustainable, There you go. I'm so sorry for that. But yeah, so thank you for that question. So talking about more about the sustainable development aspect of Masumi. So what we do is we use geotourism to empower the conservation and continuous conservation of the area. So geotourism is basically highlighting the unique character of the landscape. So in terms of the community involvement and benefit sharing, what we do is that we train local rangers from the nearby communities, and even from the indigenous groups. We do have rangers that are stationed in different areas in the reforestation area, as well as those that guides joins the guests inside the trail, wherein they share information about the area. So not only it can provide them with alternative sources of livelihood, but it also empowers them because they understand more about the landscape and how it relates to us and how it relates to humanity and as well as the environment itself. Thank you.
Okay, so then I would like to have Emily first to talk about the next step for your program.
Well, from the very beginning, when we provide sign language interpretation service to our customers, first we implement it within the bank. And after that, we share this experience to our so-called competitors, to other banks. And the service was adopted by a couple of banks, half year after our project was launched. And after that, due to the equality, the concept of providing equality service, financial service in Taiwan, Financial Supervisory Committee has ordered every bank in Taiwan has to provide sign language to their customers. So actually, the project influenced the whole industry to apply that service. And so in the future, first of all, we would like to, I really hope to see that every bank adapted our services for the visual impaired customers as well. And for the easy to read guidebook for banking services, we have published. We already delivered the copy to like 13 banks already. So I hope in the future these two services will also be assigned as a must-have for every bank. And also for our next step, you can see that there are lots of immigrants from including mainland China or South Vietnam, Indonesia, new immigrants to Taiwan, and they are actually many of them were targeted as a financial forgery victim. So we will launch a protection program for that communities to improve their financial awareness of self-protection. So that will be our new project for this year. Yeah, so hopefully, I hope in Taiwan, everyone can enjoy the same service, no matter where you're from or no matter what kind of disabilities you have.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay.
Many ideas at the moment. We are working on greening our production, so there's a big 32 kilowatts system on top of our machine shop. We are also restructuring the organization. NGOs is most of, we are a foundation. All of us, we own the organization. It's a little bit a unique social enterprise. We have a general assembly, and then we have as much as possible regular staff. And we select every 2 years a board, 6 from the people working regularly, and we have a few affiliates to select from. So it's a nice combination of a board from good inside information. You have to know what is needed in the mountains. You're not somebody from the city who tells us what to do for next year. So we are very content about that. But we are restructuring because the government doesn't see us as we fill the gap for them. We do the dirty job for them. But they just come to our office and they want to see our money, taxes. And so we are restructuring, and we do that according to the idea of like Scandinavia. It hasn't been really applied, I think, to NGOs, but it's with a holding, a foundation, a holding, and then our business is there. It's difficult to say business and social with NGOs, but we have a few businesses, a coffee shop, the manufacturing, and the essential oil factories we run. And they will contribute to the foundation and so on. So that's new. We went away from, everybody's always asking, are you going to 1 million beneficiaries and so on? And we have turned away already completely from that because our experience was also the maintenance. Like I said, we want to see the systems working technically. And we want them really to see that they trigger other developments. So if it's already stacks up with the technical issues, and which are mostly related to organization, with malfunctioning of an organization, then that does not make any sense. Then you have supply to 1 million, but mostly it's not properly working. So more and more adding things to the holistic approach. And for the expansion, we don't have to do that ourselves, so we do a maximum of 25 villages, complete villages per year. But we can help other installation teams, and we do technology transfer to other countries. So we give the manufacturing away. We have somebody from Nepal. We have our pumps being manufactured in Afghanistan, Colombia. So that's the way also to scale up, not just yourself.
Yeah, very good. I think non-profit organization for foundation, I think Masuni and also you, FE, are all non-profit foundation. So when you build up a very successful model and then grow your organization, and then more people you can see identify more demand, and then you need to retrofit, a little restructuring to also have a very something like a efficient operation and more robust in the financial issues and etc. And yeah, I think especially recently we were told that in the Philippines the extreme hot, right, more than 45 degrees centigrade. Even in Thailand also lots of people die because of the extreme heat. So I'm afraid of that this kind of fact will become the new normal, and then the water issues will become more and more serious. So I can see that your role, your successful case and expertise, and will become very important to meet the local need, the Asia Pacific region's need. So we really like to see that you can grow much faster, but in a very robust way, right? Yeah.
So for us in Masuni, what we want to do in the long term or in the future, or what's next for us, is really to protect the area, the landscape in perpetuity, so for the rest of our lives. And we hope to see a new forest in the area, and most importantly, we want, of course, to replicate that model in different places, not just in the Philippines, but of course in other regions of the Asia Pacific, or maybe the entire globe. Because right now we are facing the negative effects of climate crisis, and one way or another, this is the best time for us to make an action. As you already mentioned, the heat index, not just in the Philippines, but actually in the other parts of the world, they're already experiencing it. And actually in Masumi, we do experience that, and that's one of the things that we're actually targeting to solve in terms of the SDGs, so providing a clean water and sanitation, because we are, as I mentioned a while ago, we are reforesting or rewilding the denuded watershed. So that area was supposedly, if it has a lot of forest cover, it could have hold more water for us during this season. So that's one way for us to really bring back the forest in the area. So for us, hopefully, another thing that, next step for us is really to empower more the private and public partnership in terms of collaboration in conservation of the environment. So hopefully we get more support from NGOs that work closely in the grassroots communities, that work closely to solving the problems, and that they get the respective supports from different institutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then we still have a couple minutes. Any other question? If there is no any question from the floor, I would like to propose my last question for all of you. You have been here for 2 days and also listened to a lot of incredible story, learned a lot from some other people here or from other countries. Based on your own successful story, you experienced participating the Asia Pacific Social Innovation Partnership Award. Do you have any reflection to all of the audience based on these 2 days experience? Can I have Justine first?
Okay, so I was really excited to answer that question because as of today, so I was here in Taiwan for almost my 3rd day already. And after seeing all of the booths and all of the participants in the different forums, I was really hopeful and inspired to become a change maker, and not just in the field of environment, but also in other fields, because I was really amazed of how youths are being a change maker in and creating different innovations and sharing it to the world. And there's a lot of concepts in the exhibits that shows about circular economy and things like that. That is very important and very crucial in this time of climate crisis. So yeah, so that's my reflection. I was inspired, and I was really more of pushed more for to become a better and better, to live better and to be better as a citizen. Thank you.
Thank you. Emily.
Yeah, the most impressive conversation I had was with Dr. Zhou from Jinan University. Yesterday we talked about how university reach out to the community to co-work together to make the community more abundant. Because traditionally university has its own status, but the connection with the community might probably not as tight as we have seen what Jinan University with Nantou, with Puli. So I think through this event, I think not only the relationship between Jinan University and Puli are more connected, but also a very good demonstration to everyone that even like me, we are in banking industry, because bank as for people might think of bank as, oh, you're a rich institution to help to service only rich people, but actually we can do so much with the community, and by connecting with them and with the governments as well. Like a bank can perform as a very good intermediate role to connect with all to make it more prosperous society. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
It's very energizing always, because the work we do, it's not, it's for a long time. I say development work is not easy. No, you said that. I made a statement many years ago when we received the prestigious award, so you had to make an acceptance speech, and I said, seriously, I said, development work is not easy, it's strangled by politics. And they all started laughing. These were the VIPs from Manila and the Philippines. And so, but yeah, I was serious about it, and just they laughed because they recognized, but they also very well know. I see that I feel there's more a reception for these new things here than we feel in the Philippines, and so that gives me, to see that gives me, a sort of energy. I don't know how to explain it and how to translate that back home, but never make yourself dependent anyway. Always move. If more people come on board, if they institutionalize your technology, fine, all fine. What I also observed, and actually I was reading about that, I tried to do it quickly. I was here many years ago in Taipei, and I had a few hours to go in Taipei, it was a stopover, and I wanted to have a cup of coffee, and I couldn't find that. I didn't know that, of course, at the time, and it was super expensive. And then before coming here, I started reading about Namtu and then coffee in the mountains, but also the nice thing that these are young people with new ideas. So they see opportunities in things we always say, like no more agriculture is no longer there, or it's like hopeless to do that in those areas affected by climate change, or for example. But these are some innovative people who have studied all those things. Some are university students, but they have interest in agriculture. They go, they look at the packaging, they look at the marketing systems and the production techniques and so on. So, and this is what we also try to create. So it's nice to see. We always say that once there is water again, we hope that the young ones stay or come back to the farm, but through technologies and new techniques. So that's also very nice to see. Then I think we came from doing big programs. We thought that we had to do things, because on the land reform areas there was nothing. There was land and people, and you were forced to do everything, from toilet building to daycare to homeopathic medicines making. So we can't do that. So what you see in a conference like that is the cooperation. Like you said, the universities, corporations, their business are aware of what is needed. So there's a lot of room for doing things together in the country, but also in Asia.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think we are living in a smaller world. That means you affect me, I affect you. And then we just hear a lot of incredible, successful stories, very inspiring. But unfortunately, the whole world is still getting much worse. So now we know a lot of incredible solutions, a lot of innovative technology. We need scale up and then to deploy those innovations to every part of the world. So this kind of a cross-linking and sharing is more and more important than ever. We have already heard during these 2 days, within 10 years, we will touch upon very normally 2 degrees centigrade warmer. So the whole world's the climate will change very, very rapidly. And desert area will get a lot of rain. And in Thailand, Philippines, Taiwan, we will get less and less rain. So the whole global climate landscape will change very, very differently. Not just only environmental issue, but also a lot of social issues. So we have already seen that the social divide is much more serious than before. And then we do have a very rapidly growing population right now, 8 billion population. 2 decades later might go to 10 billion. Today we already need 1.75 planets. But we just only have 1 planet. How can we get another 0.75 planet for feeding everyone? So it's very challenging for all of us. So we need young people, we need technology, we need finance, we need more communication, collaboration, and try to circulate all of the technology possible to solve all of the problems in every corner on this planet. So collaboration, partnership is the only way we can get there, right? So number 17, Sustainable Development Goals, is a partnership. So China cannot partner with the United States, dead end. Philippines cannot collaborate with Taiwan, dead end, right? Finance cannot work with a lot of general public, dead end. So I would like to call for just corresponding to our distinguished panelists' comments and their story. I think they have done a lot of pioneer job and then create some very, very, very wonderful consequences for all of us to follow, all of us to talk about, all of us to share and to innovate. I think that we gotta take our own responsibility. KPMG, we have already done 2 years ago, the Taiwan Sustainability Survey, and then we asked everyone, if we already seen that there's so negative impact to our society and environment, who should take the responsibility? 80% say, not me, it's you, but we would like to see that 80% of the people say, me, my responsibility, right? I think all of them really appreciate it, and you all take your responsibility and already demonstrate that you have done a pretty good job. So lots follow. Thank you very much, and please join me to give you a big hand to our panelists. Thank you. All right. So the organizer, we do have some souvenir to present to every one of you. So we'd like to have a group photo first.
谢谢大家的参与。那提醒一下，3点半是我们的闭幕式，请大家移步到方形剧场参加本次大会的闭幕式，谢谢。